The Oklahoma City Thunder come back and they win game 4. And what can I say? That was another very good game, another really good game in these NBA finals just after we had a really good game in game 3. Just saw clean basketball all the way through, just the passionate fans that you could see in the building, just supporting their team. And this game came down to slightly different elements than I believe the first 3 games did. The first game also was similar to this game. It was different in game 2 and game 3. Game 1 and game 4 both came down to just pure, cold-blooded late game execution that the Thunder had today and that the Pacers didn't. In contrast to game 1, when the Pacers had the late game execution and the Thunder didn't. So the Pacers were up by 7 going into the fourth quarter, and you just thought, this is a bit of a too close of a margin because the Thunder only made 3 threes through the first, 3.5 quarters. That is really bad in today's NBA, and they were virtually perfect from the free throw line, amazing from the free throw line. Shot, I think, over 32 free throws. But you just felt like the low amount of threes that they were making, and they were clanking all of them, was going to come back to bite them because basketball today is a math game. It's a pure math game. You can make all the free throws you want. You can shoot well from 2. But if you're struggling from 3, you're going to suffer. And that's what got the Pacers the lead early. That's what got them to be able to have some rhythm. They have 4 times as many threes through the first 3.5 quarters as the Thunder did. But when they needed it the most, the Thunder had better pure late game execution. Gilgeous-Alexander showed the MVP that he is with a couple of really tough buckets. He had a 3 late in the game and then another step back fall away. He had one shot that was a clear travel where I think he pushed off Aaron Nesmith, and then, he took like 1, 2, 3, 4 steps and then traveled. Scott Foster, another terrible officiating masterclass today again, which was bad. But yeah, he had 35 points and 10 assists and 10 for 10 from the free throw line. SGA is the MVP for a reason, and he is currently, you'd have to say, the best player in the world. The Pacers, I don't think the Pacers necessarily played bad. I thought you got some big threes from Obi Toppin off the bench. TJ McConnell obviously brought the energy he always does, but he was nowhere near as good today, especially scoring-wise. Benedict Mathurin was not even close to the player that he was in Game 3, which was kind of disheartening because he was the reason why you would have to say that they won Game 3. But today, from 2 dumb fouls at the end of the game that he committed, away from the ball fouls that got the Thunder 2 extra free throws, missing 3 free throws in a row before making a 4th one. Benedict Mathurin is a huge reason why the team didn't win, as opposed to being a huge reason why they did win in Game 3. So you got to feel for him. But I just thought, Siakam was solid. He had 28 and 5. Tyrese Halliburton had 18. He was driving to the basket a lot and making a lot of tough layups in the paint. He didn't make a bunch of threes today. I think he only made 1. But his ability to drive inside, I thought, was really good today. Chet got tweaked early in the game for the Thunder, but then he came back and played a great defensive role for the Thunder. And he was the primary guy on Miles Turner, only limited him to 12 points. So the Thunder showed their talent once again. They showed their ability. They showed that player for player, they are the better team. J-Dub had another 27, 14 and 15 for Chet, like I mentioned. They showed the collective player ability that they have. Caruso with great on-ball defense. Lou Dort, didn't have a great game. He only had 6. Alex Caruso had 20. I saw, Mike Breen say that Alex Caruso didn't have 20 points once during the regular season, but he's already had 2 20-point games in these finals. Big game player and just shows up when you need it most, while also delivering tremendous defense against the best perimeter players that the Pacers have. So major respects to him. And yeah, their talent just willed and gritted them to this win, because I always thought that the Thunder can blow anybody out in basketball. But if it gets to a nip-and-tuck game, could a team like the Pacers beat them? Oh yeah, we've seen them do it twice. Could a team like the Timberwolves beat them? They did blow them out one game, which is a shocker because that's probably the best game that anybody has played against the Thunder all season long. The Nuggets gave them major troubles, though. Major troubles. And they won a couple of clutch games at the end of the stretch. So you think to yourself, if it gets close, if it gets nip and tuck, maybe you favor the Pacers. Maybe this Thunder team are great front runners. When they're ahead, and they're ahead by a lot, they will punish teams. They will bulldoze teams. They'll beat them by 30, 40, 50. But when it gets close, when it gets nip and tuck, and when they get into uncomfortable situations that they don't know how to handle, maybe they fall apart, but they didn't fall apart today. SGA showed the leader that he is. J-Dub played outstanding as well. Isaiah Hartenstein got a couple of big rebounds. We didn't see much production from guys like Aaron Wiggins, or, we saw Kendrick Williams get some minutes today, which was a bit of a shock. I don't think Jay Will played at all, actually. Yeah, Jay Will didn't play at all. But it was mostly the main five guys with Alex Caruso and a tiny bit of Cason Wallace. Cason Wallace didn't start today, actually. So, Mark Daigneault going with something a little bit different. He didn't actually start Cason Wallace because he started Cason Wallace 2 games in this series and it just hasn't worked out. He just went back to the 2 big lineup with Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren. And I'm really glad that he did, because he's realizing that if we pack the paint and bring some guys in there, maybe that'll help us out. But hey, not starting Cason Wallace is maybe part of the reason why you only made 3 threes for the beginning of the game. But who knows? At the end of the day, all that matters is that they got the win. They had great late game execution. The ball denials on offense for Indiana, the way that they were going under their screens, the way that they were, just disrupting not just Halliburton and Nembhard and Nesmith, and just making them really hard to be productive on offense, I thought was fantastic. Also following it up with great offense of their own on the other side, which was tremendous. So major shout outs to the Oklahoma City Thunder for playing their game, for playing their brand of basketball when they needed the most, just suffocating teams on defense, going to Shea in ISO situations, J-Dub being able to be a huge threat off the dribble, Lou Dort, just stick to your corner threes, stick to your catch and shoot threes on offense. Check and do that as well. Just, hey, let's finish down low. Let's get some stuff down low. Get offensive rebounds when you can. Same thing, Hartenstein. Everyone just do your job. Stick to your role. Don't try to be a guy that you're not. Just stick to it, and our talent alone will persevere and get us a win. And that's exactly what Mark Daigneault and the Thunder did in the fourth quarter, because in the first three and a bit quarters, it was looking more like that Pacers team that played a phenomenal game 3 against the best team in the NBA. But the Thunder just stuck true to themselves, and that fourth quarter was, I think it's the best quarter of basketball that they've played these entire finals. Just complete, wholehearted, knowing their roles, knowing what they're supposed to do, and they played a phenomenal way to end the match, and they came out here with the win. Now we head back to Oklahoma City. This is crazy, because if the Pacers won this game, they had a stranglehold in this series and it was all but over. All they would have to do is win 1 game in Indianapolis, and if that doesn't happen, they would have 2 chances to win in OKC, which they already did in game 1. But now it's right back in the Thunder's favor again, because 2 out of the final 3 games will be in Oklahoma City. You have to favor the Thunder for game 5 because their home crowd, even though the home crowd can get to you, your own home crowd can get to you. So we'll see, of course, but you favor them there, and they've taken back control of this series. And it's going to go 6 games. Each of the last 2 finals, have been kind of lackluster. I mean, the Celtics-Mavericks final, the Celtics went up 3-0 and the finals was over. It was over. It was so over. So game 4, the fact the Mavericks came back, it didn't even matter. It felt like a fake win. It just was delaying the inevitable, and that's exactly what happened. And the Nuggets-Heat series, the Heat won game 2, I believe, in Denver in 2023, but then the Nuggets just finished them out. It just felt like if the Heat win 1 game, that is all that they're going to win, because Jokic was playing on another level, as well as any basketball player I've seen other than the Jordans, LeBrons, etc. It's like he was on a different planet at the time. But hey, we're having the best finals that we've had since 2022. And it's really good, and it's really entertaining. It's exciting, and I love watching it. Some of the basketball has been a little bit sloppy, but the way that these games have been ended and the late game situations and the factors have been really interesting. And hey, let's see game 5, and let's see if it can live up to the great play that we've had down the wire in the first 4 games. And I can't wait to see it.